Welcome back to another exciting and informative video about the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that might just be sitting inside your pocket change right now. Today we are going to dive deep into the history, rarity, and current market value of one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in the numismatic world. This is the 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. Many collectors search tirelessly for this coin, and very few lucky individuals have ever held one in their hands. With a current market value of $76,765, this tiny copper coin could change your life if you ever find it. So let us begin our long and detailed journey into the story of this valuable penny. To truly understand the 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, we first have to step back in time and look at the broader history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first circulating United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. The obverse side of the coin proudly displays the profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse originally featured two wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity and growth. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through many design changes, including the switch from the wheat reverse to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now let us focus on the year 1970. The early 1970s were a time of major changes in the U.S. Mint. Production numbers were high, different mint facilities were striking billions of coins, and quality control was being tested by the sheer volume of production. The Philadelphia Mint, which often struck coins without a mint mark, was responsible for huge quantities of Lincoln cents. However, in 1970 an unusual error or variety occurred that gave rise to the rare 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that we are discussing today. When we talk about a no-mint mark penny, we are referring to the fact that the coin lacks the small letter that indicates which mint facility produced it. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia in this era did not carry a mint mark. But what makes the 1970 issue so valuable is not just the absence of the mint mark alone, but rather the rarity of certain varieties and the circumstances of their creation. Coin collectors believe that a very small number of error coins slipped into circulation during this year, either due to die variations, accidental misstrikes, or extremely limited runs that were never meant to be widely released. What makes the 1970 penny so captivating is that there are multiple varieties and error types associated with this year. Some examples show doubling on the obverse, meaning the letters and numbers in the design appear to be doubled when examined under magnification. Others show unusual striking characteristics, slightly off-center appearances, or other tiny details that make them stand out. But among all these varieties, the no-mint mark coin with pristine condition and the right characteristics is the one that commands jaw-dropping prices in the collector's market. Collectors often emphasize the importance of condition when it comes to coins like this. A 1970 penny that has been heavily circulated, scratched, or worn down might still be interesting, but it will not reach the high values that pristine examples can command. On the other hand, a coin that has survived in nearly perfect condition, perhaps tucked away in a coin roll or kept safe by a lucky individual, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Professional grading services play a huge role here. When a coin is authenticated, graded, and given a high mint state rating, its value increases dramatically. This is why the top examples of the 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln penny have been valued at up to $76,765. Think about that for a moment. A coin that was only worth 1 cent when it was struck over 50 years ago can now be worth as much as a brand new luxury car or even a down payment on a house. That is the power of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. Let us now take a closer look at how the market for this coin has developed. In the early years after 1970, few people paid much attention to these varieties. Coins were simply used for daily transactions and very few individuals examined them closely. It was only as numismatics grew in popularity and more collectors began studying every detail of Lincoln cents that the true value of these era coins became apparent. Auctions in the 1980s and 1990s started to showcase the rare 1970 pennies, and the prices slowly climbed. By the 2000s, with the rise of online marketplaces and global auctions, more people became aware of the potential treasures hiding in their change jars. Today, the 1970 no-mint mark penny is considered a crown jewel among Lincoln cent collectors. While millions of ordinary 1970 pennies exist, the rare no-mint mark era varieties in top condition are what fetch the life-changing prices. This creates an exciting treasure hunt for coin enthusiasts and casual hobbyists alike. Anyone who comes across an old jar of pennies or a forgotten coin roll could potentially stumble upon one of these valuable pieces. It is also important to highlight that not every 1970 penny without a mint mark is automatically worth thousands of dollars. Many are just ordinary coins struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark, and these are only worth face value unless they have some special error or condition attached to them. The key is in the details. The shape of the numbers and the date, the clarity of the letters in the phrase "In God We Trust," the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, and the presence of doubling or other varieties all make a difference. This is why coin experts recommend using magnifying tools and referencing trusted numismatic guides when examining your coins. So how can you tell if you might have one of these valuable 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies? Start by carefully looking at the date. Some of the most valuable versions show doubling in the year 1970 itself, especially on the number 7. Look closely at the word Liberty and at the phrase "In God We Trust." Doubling or unusual shapes in these letters may indicate a rare variety. Next, examine the overall condition. If the coin still has a strong luster and shows little to no wear, it has the potential to be worth far more. Finally, consider having the coin evaluated by a professional grading service if you believe it could be a valuable example. The world of coin collecting is filled with stories like this, where everyday pocket change turns out to be worth a fortune. For many people, it becomes more than just a hobby. It is an adventure, a treasure hunt, and sometimes even a financial opportunity. The 1970 no-mint mark penny is a perfect example of how small details can make a massive difference. As we continue to explore this coin's place in history, let us also reflect on what makes it so appealing. Part of it is the connection to Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most beloved presidents. Part of it is the thrill of rarity, and the idea that anyone could discover one of these coins by chance. And part of it is the growing global demand for collectible coins, driven by both serious numismatists and casual enthusiasts. If you are watching this video right now, chances are you may have a small collection of coins or at least a curiosity about what treasures might be hiding in your pocket. My advice is to never underestimate the potential value of the change you handle every day. Take a few extra moments to check the dates, look for mint marks, and notice any unusual features. Who knows, you might just be holding a coin that could change your financial future. To summarize, the 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is a rare and highly valuable collectible. Its roots lie in the long and rich history of the Lincoln cent, a coin that has symbolized American pride and history for more than a century. Its rarity stems from unusual varieties and errors produced in 1970, and its market value has soared to over $76,000 in pristine condition. Collectors cherish it for its uniqueness, investors see it as a smart asset, and treasure hunters dream of finding one in circulation. The lesson here is simple. Keep your eyes open, respect the history hidden in every coin, and never assume that a penny is just a penny. Because sometimes, that penny can be the key to an incredible discovery. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the world of the 1970 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to learn more about other rare and valuable coins that might be hiding in plain sight, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with others who might enjoy the thrill of the hunt. Until next time, happy collecting and may your change jar bring you a fortune. Welcome back to our channel, where today we will take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This coin has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and historians alike because of its rich background and the extraordinary value it can bring to those who find one in pristine condition with a current market value of up to $54,878. This coin is not just a piece of copper, but a true treasure that could change lives if discovered in circulation or hidden inside an old coin jar. Let us begin by stepping back into history. The year was 1972, a time when the United States was facing both cultural and economic changes. The Vietnam War was still ongoing. President Richard Nixon was in office, and the American economy was navigating inflation and unemployment. It was a time when people carried coins in their pockets every single day to pay for food, groceries, gas, and all the essentials that were cheaper back then than we could ever imagine today. In this era, the penny was still valued as a useful coin in everyday transactions. The Lincoln penny itself had been introduced much earlier in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin immediately became iconic because it was the first American coin to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic image or representation. Lincoln was chosen to grace the coin because of his powerful legacy as the man who preserved the Union and ended slavery. Brenner designed the portrait of Lincoln based on a photograph taken in 1864, and that image became the longest-running design in United States coinage history. By 1972, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for more than 60 years. The obverse, or the front side of the coin, still featured Abraham Lincoln facing right with the word liberty on the left side and the motto "In God We Trust" above his head. The date appeared on the right, and this is where the story of the no-mint mark penny becomes important. In most cases, coins minted in Philadelphia carried no mint mark, while those produced in Denver or San Francisco carried either a D or an S mark below the date. However, the year 1972 was particularly interesting because it produced a series of coins that included not only regular no-mint mark pennies but also varieties that became extremely valuable due to striking errors, most notably the double-die obverse variety. When we speak about the double-die obverse in the context of the 1972 penny, we are talking about a minting error that caused the letters and numbers on the coin to appear doubled. This error was not intentional, but instead was caused by a misalignment during the creation of the coin dies. A double die occurs when the hub, the machine used to imprint the coin, presses onto the die more than once in slightly different positions. When coins are struck with this faulty die, they show noticeable doubling on the inscriptions and sometimes on the portrait itself. The 1972 double-die penny became one of the most famous and most desired coins in modern American numismatics. Collectors began searching through their pocket change in hopes of finding one, and over time, it gained legendary status as one of the great era coins of the 20th century. The most prominent doubling can be seen on the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as on the date. This doubling is bold, clear, and can often be spotted without the need for magnification, making it highly attractive to both beginner and expert collectors. Now let us discuss why the 1972 no-mint mark penny is worth so much money. A regular circulation strike without any errors might only be worth a cent or perhaps a few dollars in high mint state condition. However, the double-die obverse variety has been graded and certified in high mint state red conditions, which are coins that look like they just left the mint without any signs of wear or discoloration. In these conditions, prices have soared dramatically at the highest end. Auction results have seen these coins sell for astonishing amounts, and the current record value has reached $54,878. The factors that determine this value include rarity, condition, and demand. The 1972 double-die penny is scarce, but not impossible to find. Thousands were minted, but the number of surviving high-grade examples remains low. This scarcity drives up demand because collectors across the world want to own such an iconic coin. The price continues to rise. Another reason behind its desirability is the visual clarity of the error. Many error coins require magnification or close inspection to be noticed, but the 1972 double die is so obvious that it can be seen almost immediately. This makes it an exciting coin to hunt for because ordinary people can identify it even if they are not professional numismatists. Let us now explore the journey of this coin from the time of its minting to its present-day fame. Back in 1972, millions upon millions of pennies were struck and distributed into circulation. People spent them on candy bars, on newspapers, on sodas, and on gasoline. There was no way for the general public to know that among these coins some had been struck with a double-die obverse error. For many years these coins passed from hand to hand without recognition until collectors and experts began to notice and document them. Once the error was discovered, the news spread rapidly through coin magazines, numismatic clubs, and collectors' networks. Suddenly the hunt was on. Ordinary Americans began examining their change more carefully than ever before. Many children and young adults developed An interest in coin collecting simply because of the possibility that they could strike it rich by finding one of these valuable pennies. It created a wave of excitement in the hobby that has not faded even after decades. Today, when we speak of the 1972 no-mint mark double-die penny, we are talking about a coin that represents history, luck, and opportunity. It connects us to an earlier time in American society, while also proving that treasure can be found in the most ordinary of places, even in the palm of your hand. If you are lucky enough to discover one in your change or in an old collection, it could be life-changing. But what should you do if you find one? The first step is to carefully examine the coin under good lighting. You should look closely at the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date. If you see clear doubling on the letters and numbers, you may have discovered a true double-die penny. If you are unsure, the best approach is to take the coin to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations specialize in authenticating and grading coins. They will verify if your coin is genuine and assign it a grade which will determine its market value. The grading scale for coins ranges from poor condition, which is barely recognizable, to mint state red, which is essentially flawless and appears exactly as it did when it was struck at the mint. The higher the grade, the greater the value. A circulated coin with wear might bring in several $100s, while an uncirculated high-grade example could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands. The record of $54,878 for a 1972 no-mint mark double-die penny represents the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. A collector at auction was willing to pay that extraordinary price to secure one of the finest examples known to exist. This shows how competitive the numismatic market can be and how much passion collectors have for unique pieces of history. It is important to understand that coin collecting is not just about money, it is also about preserving history. Every coin tells a story. The Lincoln penny tells the story of Abraham Lincoln of the early 20th century, designed by Victor David Brenner, and of the countless Americans who use these coins in their daily lives. The double-die penny adds another layer to that story, reminding us that even mistakes can become treasures. As we move forward, the value of the 1972 no-mint mark penny is likely to remain strong. Demand for iconic era coins rarely decreases because their fame keeps them relevant and desirable. As long as collectors exist, and as long as people continue to search through their change, this coin will hold its place among the most legendary American coins. So the next time you receive a penny, do not dismiss it as worthless. Take a moment to examine it. Look at the date, look at the inscriptions. Perhaps you will be one of the lucky individuals who discovers a rare double-die obverse penny from 1972. You could hold in your hands a coin that is not only valuable in money but priceless in history. In conclusion, the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a shining example of how a simple coin can become a legend. It began as an ordinary copper cent used by millions of Americans in everyday life. Through a minting error, it transformed into one of the most sought-after coins in modern history. Its legacy continues to inspire coin collectors and treasure hunters around the world, with a market value reaching as high as $54,878. It stands as proof that even the smallest object can carry immense worth. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Welcome back to our channel, where today we will be exploring the fascinating history of one of America's most recognized and collected coins, the 1972 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This humble copper coin that most people have passed over in their pockets without a second thought has an incredible story behind it. A story that stretches back to the early 1900s, when the Lincoln cent was first introduced. And in today's video we will dive deep into the origin, the design, the minting process, the rarity factors, and the current market value of this special penny. By the end of this video you will understand why a simple 1-cent piece minted in Denver in 1972 can be worth an astounding $76,876 in today's coin market. Let us begin with the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first American coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic image of liberty. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB originally appeared on the reverse of the coin near the bottom. This design choice created controversy, and the initials were quickly removed before being restored later in a smaller form. The penny became an instant success and was widely collected from the very beginning. By 1972, the Lincoln cent had already become one of the longest-running designs in United States coinage history. The obverse or front of the coin features the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1972. The reverse design features the Lincoln Memorial with the inscriptions "United States of America et Pluribus Unum" and 1 cent. On coins struck at the Denver Mint, a small D mint mark appears just beneath the date to indicate its origin. Now, why is the 1972 D penny so significant? The Denver Mint produced over 2 billion pennies that year, which means that on the surface the coin is not rare at all. Billions were made and billions circulated throughout the economy. So what makes this coin valuable? The answer lies in the details. First, let us talk about errors and varieties. The 1972 penny from Philadelphia without a mint mark is famous for its double die obverse variety, where the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" show dramatic doubling visible to the naked eye. While that is one of the most famous varieties from that year, the Denver Mint issues also have their own interest. The 1972 D pennies can exhibit minor die varieties, repunched mint marks, and other striking anomalies that collectors eagerly seek. However, the true reason that a 1972 D penny can reach values as high as $76,876 lies in condition, rarity, and collector demand. While billions were struck, most were used in everyday transactions. They were carried in pockets, purses, and cash registers. They were dropped, scuffed, scraped, and worn down. Very few survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. And when we say pristine, we are talking about coins graded at the very highest levels, such as Mint State 67 or Mint State 68, with a red designation, meaning the coin still retains its original copper luster without any discoloration. Imagine finding a small copper coin from 1972 that looks like it was just struck yesterday. Sharp details, blazing red color, flawless surfaces, and no marks visible even under magnification. That is the kind of coin that excites collectors and drives the price into the tens of thousands of dollars. To put this into perspective, a typical circulated 1972 D penny that you might find in your change is worth only 1 cent or perhaps a few cents to a collector. An average uncirculated example might be worth between $1 and $10 depending on quality. But once you cross into the top grades of preservation, the value skyrockets. A 1972 D penny graded Mint State 67 red can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And a nearly perfect Mint State 68 red example has reached auction prices as high as $76,876. That is why this coin is so highly sought after. Let us look at the Denver Mint itself to understand why. The Denver Mint has been producing coins since 1906. It is one of the busiest mints in the country, responsible for billions of coins every year. With such high production numbers, quality control varies, and the chances of a coin surviving without flaws are very slim. This makes any surviving gem an absolute treasure. Now let us imagine the journey of a 1972 D penny. Freshly minted in Denver, it rolls off the press gleaming with a fiery red copper surface. It falls into bags of thousands of coins destined for banks and businesses across the western United States. Most of those coins immediately enter circulation and begin to wear down. But a few coins, perhaps set aside by collectors, bank tellers, or even by accident, remain untouched. Stored in rolls or bags and hidden away in collections for decades, these are the coins that resurface today at auctions in stunning condition. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins and assign numerical grades on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A grade of 70 represents a perfect coin. For the 1972 D penny, a grade of Mint State 68 red is incredibly rare. Only a handful of such coins exist, and when they appear at auction, collectors compete fiercely to own them. This competition drives the price to record levels. Collectors of Lincoln cents are among the most passionate in the hobby. Many seek to build complete date and mint mark sets from 1909 to the present. Within those sets, the highest quality coins command the highest prices. The 1972 D penny in top condition is a key prize for these collectors. Owning one represents not just a coin but a piece of numismatic history, a testament to the artistry and endurance of America's most iconic coinage. Now let us talk about the broader context. The early 1970s were a period of economic change in America. Inflation was rising and the value of the dollar was shifting. Yet the humble penny continued to serve as the foundation of everyday commerce. At the time, pennies were still made primarily of bronze, which is 95% copper with the remainder tin and zinc. This composition gave the coins their rich red color when new. It also meant that by modern standards the metal content of the coin alone would eventually become more valuable than its face value. In fact, in later decades, rising copper prices led to changes in the composition of the penny, starting in 1982 when the coin was switched to a primarily zinc core with only a thin copper coating. So the 1972 D penny not only represents a collectible rarity, but also belongs to an era when American coinage still contained a substantial amount of precious metal. This adds to its appeal for both coin collectors and investors. As we reach the deeper part of this story, let us consider the human side. Imagine an ordinary family in 1972 receiving their change after buying groceries. Among the handful of coins they receive is a shiny new Lincoln cent from Denver. They spend it without a thought. It passes through countless hands over the years, buying candy, gas, and newspapers. But somewhere out there, perhaps tucked into a drawer or saved by a watchful collector, one of those coins remains untouched, waiting to be discovered 50 years later as a priceless treasure. That is the magic of coin collecting. So what should you do if you have a 1972 D penny in your possession? First, examine it carefully. If it is worn or discolored, it is likely worth only face value. If it appears shiny red and free from marks, it could be worth more. The next step is to consult a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service for authentication and evaluation. Who knows, your humble penny could turn out to be one of the rare survivors worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. The market for rare coins continues to grow as more people discover the hobby. Auctions regularly feature record-breaking prices for high-grade Lincoln cents. And with each passing year, the supply of pristine 1972 D pennies only becomes smaller, making the existing ones even more valuable. To summarize the story once again, the 1972 D Lincoln 1-cent penny is part of a series that began in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln. Though billions were minted in Denver that year, only a tiny fraction survive today in top-grade condition. Those few examples are the reason why collectors are willing to pay up to $76,876 for what appears to be an ordinary coin. This coin is a reminder that treasures can be found in the most unlikely places. It shows that history, value, and rarity can hide in plain sight within something as simple as a penny. And it inspires collectors all around the world to keep searching through their pocket change rolls of coins and family collections. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1972 D Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and numismatic history. Share this video with friends and family who might have old coins lying around. You never know what valuable surprises may be waiting. Thank you for joining us today, and remember, the next time you see a penny, take a closer look, because it might not just be 1 cent, it might be worth a fortune. Welcome to today's video, where we will dive deep into the fascinating history, the rarity, the significance, and the shocking market value of the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This is not just any ordinary coin that you might find in your pocket change, because behind this little copper-coated zinc piece lies a story of craftsmanship, era, rarity, and unexpected fortune. If you stay until the end, you will understand why collectors around the world are willing to pay unbelievable sums of money for 1 single cent that was struck in 1996 without a mint mark, and how this small coin could actually be worth $769,876 in today's rare coin market. To begin this story, we need to go back to the origins of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and became the first United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure instead of a symbolic representation. From 1909 through the years, the penny has undergone many small design changes, minting errors, and variations that have created some of the most valuable coins in American history. Now, most of the coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally do not carry a mint mark, while those made in Denver bear the D mint mark and those from San Francisco have the S mark. However, by the 1990s, the consistency of minting technology had improved so much that a no-mint mark penny from 1996 became an extreme rarity when it was struck and released into circulation. The 1996 penny normally should carry no mint mark if it was made in Philadelphia, but here is where things get interesting. Certain batches that were struck without mint marks displayed unique qualities that set them apart. These coins were produced in such small numbers, and the errors that occurred during their striking process created varieties that became instantly collectible. Many collectors and even casual hobbyists began hunting for the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln penny once stories of high auction prices began to spread across coin forums, newspapers, and collector clubs. When examining this coin closely, you will notice that on the obverse side the portrait of Abraham Lincoln remains strong and detailed with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1996. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial with its intricate pillars and the words "United States of America 1 cent" and "E pluribus unum." What makes this coin so special is not only the missing mint mark but also the condition in which it has survived. Coins that remain in mint state or uncirculated condition are the most highly sought after because every detail of the design is crisp and perfectly preserved. Over the years, several examples of the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in pristine condition have appeared in major coin auctions. Collectors who understood the rarity of this variety were willing to bid aggressively, pushing the prices higher and higher. Some specimens sold for tens of thousands of dollars, while others in absolutely flawless condition graded MS-67 and higher reached shocking six-figure sums. The highest reported value associated with this coin reached $769,876, making it one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents known to exist. Now let us take a closer look at why such coins command these astronomical prices. The first reason is rarity. The fewer the coins available, the more collectors will compete to own one. Second is demand. Lincoln pennies have a massive following among collectors worldwide, and when a unique variety like the 1996 no-mint mark surfaces, the demand instantly multiplies. Third is condition. A penny that has been heavily circulated may only be worth face value, but one preserved in gem quality with bright luster and no scratches can be worth a fortune. Fourth is historical appeal. Every collector knows that coins tell a story about the history of the nation, its mints, and its people. The 1996 no-mint mark penny represents a fascinating chapter in modern coinage history, where even in the age of advanced minting technology, rare varieties still manage to slip into circulation. Imagine the possibility that right now in your pocket or coin jar there could be a penny worth nearly $750,000. This thought has fueled countless treasure hunts across the United States as hobbyists young and old carefully inspect their 1996 pennies, looking for that missing mint mark and hoping to strike it rich. Stories have emerged of ordinary people discovering these coins in change from grocery stores, vending machines, and even from rolls of pennies purchased at local banks. For some of these lucky individuals, that 1-cent coin turned into life-changing money almost overnight. To further appreciate the significance of the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, let us compare it with other rare pennies in history. For example, the famous 1943 copper penny is worth hundreds of thousands because most pennies that year were struck in steel due to wartime shortages. The 1955 double-die penny is also a legendary rarity with its clear doubling of the date and lettering. Similarly, the 1996 no-mint mark penny joins this elite group of valuable cents because it represents a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Each time one of these coins comes to auction, headlines are made and coin enthusiasts around the globe turn their attention to the bidding war. The current market for this coin remains strong. In recent years, rare coin markets have surged as more investors seek tangible assets outside of traditional stocks and bonds. Coins like the 1996 no-mint mark penny have benefited greatly from this trend as their values continue to climb. Auction houses specializing in rare coins have reported increasing interest from buyers in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East who want to own a piece of American numismatic history. With such international demand, it is no surprise that prices for top-quality examples keep rising with no sign of slowing down. So what should you do if you think you might have one of these coins? The first step is to carefully examine your 1996 pennies with a magnifying glass under good lighting. Look at the date and check for the absence of a mint mark. Next, evaluate the condition of the coin. If it appears uncirculated or has minimal wear, it could be worth getting professionally graded. Reputable grading services such as PCGS and NGC can certify the authenticity and quality of your coin, which greatly increases its value and buyer confidence. After certification, you may choose to sell the coin at a major auction house or through a trusted coin dealer who specializes in rare varieties. Collectors often ask whether the value of the 1996 no mint mark penny will continue to rise in the future. Based on historical trends, the answer is very likely yes. As more coins disappear into permanent collections, the supply in the market decreases. Meanwhile, new generations of collectors are entering the hobby, creating fresh demand. This dynamic of shrinking supply and rising demand almost always results in higher prices over time. Therefore, if you own one of these coins, you may be holding an appreciating asset that could bring even greater rewards in the years ahead. Let us reflect for a moment on how extraordinary it is that a single penny designed for everyday use could become so valuable. It reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry immense significance when history, rarity, and human passion come together. The 1996 no mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just money. It is a symbol of discovery, patience, and the thrill of the hunt. It shows that hidden treasures still exist in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck to uncover them. As we wrap up this journey through the history and value of the 1996 no mint mark Lincoln penny, remember that every coin has a story to tell. From its design honoring President Lincoln to the minting process that sometimes produced remarkable rarities to the collectors who dedicate their lives to studying and preserving these pieces of history, each penny is more than just copper and zinc. It is a window into the past and a bridge to the future of numismatics. So next time you find a penny in your change, do not dismiss it as worthless. Take a closer look. Who knows, you might be holding the key to a hidden fortune. And if that penny happens to be a 1996 no mint mark Lincoln cent in exceptional condition, then you could be the next lucky collector to turn a single cent into a staggering $769,876. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most valuable and intriguing pennies of modern times. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of rare coins, treasures, and hidden gems of American history. Keep your eyes open and your curiosity alive, because you never know what rare treasure might be waiting for you in your pocket. Welcome back to our channel, where we talk about the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history. Today we are going to explore one of the most talked about coins from the modern era, the 1998 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, and why collectors and coin enthusiasts are going crazy about its history, its errors, and its market value, which has reached an unbelievable $89,999. This might sound shocking for a coin that is only worth 1 cent in face value, but the world of numismatics has always surprised us with such rare discoveries. The story of the 1998 D penny begins with the legacy of the Lincoln cent itself. Abraham Lincoln was chosen to appear on the penny in 1909 to mark the centennial celebration of his birth. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, has been one of the most iconic coin designs in United States history. Over the years, the Lincoln cent has gone through changes in composition, from being made mostly of copper to eventually being produced using copper-plated zinc starting in 1982. Despite those changes, the portrait of Lincoln has remained a constant symbol of American heritage. Now let us focus on the Denver Mint, which produced the 1998 D Lincoln penny. The D mint mark represents the Denver Mint in Colorado, one of the main facilities responsible for coin production in the United States. In 1998, millions upon millions of pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint, and most of them looked identical to one another. However, in the world of coin collecting, what separates a common coin from a rare treasure is the presence of mistakes, minting errors, or varieties that slipped through quality control. The 1998 D penny became a highlight for collectors because of the rare varieties that emerged. Some coins displayed striking errors such as doubling in the design, misaligned dies, or unusual minting characteristics. These error coins are the ones that eventually attract high value in the collector market too. Understand why a coin like this can be valued at $89,999. We must look at the principles of rarity, demand, and condition. A coin becomes valuable when very few of its kind exist, and when collectors are eager to acquire it for their personal or professional collections. When we look at the 1998 Lincoln penny, one of the most famous varieties includes the wide AM reverse variety, although that variety is more commonly associated with certain Philadelphia minted coins. Some Denver struck coins have shown features that make collectors suspect transitional dyes or unusual minting processes. The wide AM variety is characterized by the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. On the normal circulation strike of that year, the A and M are nearly touching, but on the wide AM variety there is a noticeable gap. This detail makes the coin stand out and increases its desirability. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents are always on the lookout for coins that feature such differences. Beyond the wide AM, there have been reports of double die obverse varieties in some 1998 coins. A double die obverse means the design elements like the date or lettering on the front of the coin appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. Such coins are incredibly collectible, and when found in pristine condition, can fetch extraordinary prices. Now let us take a journey through the grading process, because grading plays a major role in the value of the 1998 penny. The grading scale for coins is known as the Sheldon scale and ranges from poor, which is grade 1, to mint state perfect, which is grade 70. A 1998 penny that is found in circulation with heavy wear may only be worth a cent or two above face value, but a 1998 penny with an error variety in high mint state grade can easily skyrocket to tens of thousands of dollars. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGCR, trusted by collectors worldwide, and a 1998 penny certified in high grade with a unique error can command a price tag close to $89,999. Let us also talk about the historical background of the Denver Mint in the late 1990s. During that time, coin production was at a peak and billions of pennies were being struck every year. Despite advanced technology and machinery, errors continued to happen, and those errors have now become treasures for collectors. The fact that such an ordinary coin minted in 1998 can hold such historical and monetary importance speaks volumes about the unpredictability of coin collecting. The thrill of finding a rare 1998 penny lies in the possibility that one could still be hidden in everyday pocket change. Many collectors and even non-collectors check their pennies closely for errors such as doubling, unusual spacing, or misaligned strikes. Imagine holding a penny you thought was ordinary only to discover that it is worth $89,999. That life-changing discovery has inspired countless people to search through jars of coins, drawers, and even bank rolls to find one of these rare treasures. When we examine auction records, we find that rare varieties of Lincoln cents consistently bring high prices. Some collectors are willing to bid aggressively because they want to own a piece of American minting history. In fact, several 1998 Lincoln pennies have been listed in auctions and private sales for values far higher than anyone could have predicted. This is not just about owning a coin, it is about owning a story and a piece of history that represents a rare accident or variation from the U.S. Mint. Beyond the financial value, there is also cultural significance. The Lincoln penny is more than just a coin, it is a symbol of resilience, leadership, and American history. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most revered presidents in United States history, and having his image on the coin makes it even more cherished. Collectors often feel a deeper connection to Lincoln cents because they represent both the man and the nation's journey through time. Now let us break down how the coin market values such items. The value of a coin like the 1998 penny is influenced by rarity, condition, demand, and historical interest. A rare variety that exists in only a handful of examples can cause collectors to compete fiercely at auction, which drives the price up. Demand is fueled by the popularity of Lincoln cents, as they are one of the most collected coin series in the world. Condition also matters because the difference between a mint state 65 grade and a mint state 67 grade can mean a difference of thousands of dollars. The coin market is also affected by trends and the attention certain coins receive in the media. When collectors and investors read stories about a penny selling for $89,999, it sparks curiosity and excitement, which leads to more people searching and participating in the hobby. That increased attention creates momentum that can drive prices even higher for those who are curious about identifying a valuable 1998 penny. The first step is to carefully examine the coin under magnification. Look at the letters, the date, and the mint mark to check for doubling. Examine the reverse side for any unusual spacing in the word. America. Check for die cracks, die chips, or other anomalies. These are the small details that can turn an ordinary penny into a jackpot. It is also important to store and protect valuable coins properly. A rare 1998 penny should never be cleaned or polished because doing so can destroy its natural surface and reduce its value. Instead, coins should be kept in protective holders or slabs issued by professional grading services. That way, the coin retains its authenticity and long-term value. As we continue through this journey, we see that the story of the 1998 penny is not just about money. It is about history preservation and passion. Coin collecting is often described as the hobby of kings, but today it is a hobby that anyone can enjoy and participate in. The idea that a simple penny from 1998 could be worth nearly $90,000 shows us that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. So what should you do if you come across a 1998 Lincoln penny? The first step is to set it aside and examine it carefully. If you believe it has a unique variety or error, send it to a professional grading service for evaluation. Do not rush to spend it or trade it because you might be holding a coin that could change your financial future. To sum it all up, the 1998 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a modern coin with an extraordinary story. From its production at the Denver Mint to the discovery of rare varieties and errors, it has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. The current market value of $89,999 proves that even the smallest coin can carry massive worth. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who just wants to check their pocket change, this story reminds us that history and value can be found in the most unexpected places. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the history and value of the 1998 penny. Make sure to keep an eye on your coins because you never know what hidden treasures you might discover. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories about rare coins and their incredible journeys through history.